create a video that showed you how you could use Adobe Spark to create a graphic for digital monitors. Now these are particularly the ones that are going to go in the student activities digital monitors. So they kind of like a traditional 8.5 by 11 flyer, and they're just put three on a page on the digital monitors that student activities manages. So the thing to remember about these types of flyers is they kind of have to be very can't have a lot of content because they rotate fairly quickly on those monitors, and there's not a lot of space at the size that they're displayed on the monitors. So we kind of want to make sure our content is trimmed down to just the basics. So the first thing you need to do is open your browser. I use Chrome, and we're going to go to spark.adobe.com. Now you're going to have to log in for the first time if you haven't already. Adobe Spark is free. If you call the help desk and let them know that you're, a Lewis faculty or staff or student and you're trying to use Adobe Spark, there's something they can do that gives you access to save your own logos and stuff, but you don't have to do that. It's really only important if you're doing videos. It allows you to, if you have videos, you don't have to say created by Adobe Spark. If somehow they make it to where it gives you permission to do a few more things. But for the most part, you should be able just to sign in. Now, what we do, we sign in through a school account, and you would put in your Lewis U email address. And then you want to make sure, instead of say personal account, you want to make sure you log in with a school account and put in your password. Now it remembers mine, so excuse me. So there's a couple of ways that you can get started. First of all, if you know what you're doing, you can just say, okay, I want a new, and then if it's a flyer or an Instagram story or a post, they're great for social media graphics. So we could say, yes, we want to start with a flyer, or we can also search for templates. So let's say I can just say Halloween flyer and see all these different kind of starting points. Look for one that maybe has the graphics that you're kind of interested in that you could use, or yeah, I like that, but I would switch the type out because all of these are going to be customizable. Let's just do something simple like this one. Happy Halloween. We're going to say create from template. Now, the most important thing to remember about this is we need to make it the correct size for these digital monitor graphics. And again, these are the ones specifically that have this shape of a traditional 8.5 by 11 flyer that are going to go on the student activities monitors. You'll see them around campus. There's 3 graphics on each monitor, and they kind of rotate in separately. But we have to make sure they're 1275 by 1650 pixels. So once we have a graphic we like, we go over here to resize, and we're going to go toward the top, and you'll see where it says custom, and we want to make sure we click on custom. We want to make it pixels, px, and this is going to be 1275 by 1650. That's key. Write that down. 1275 by 1650. And say done. Notice it made adjustments. I couldn't even see the adjustments that it made. So this is my starting point. Notice that everything is individual, that I can move things around. So here's the type. Here's the web in the background. These are the 2 little ghosts. When I click on the type, notice how it says ungroup. So now I ungrouped it. Now I have 2 different sets of type that I can change. Same thing with this. I can say ungroup, and now I can move them independently. This is the background graphic. I'm sure it was created by this icon over here, and I'll show you that in a minute. If I scoot it down a little bit, this is my background color, and notice when I click on it, it changes color, and I can maybe make this some sort of an orange. So maybe I want orange instead of the purple and bring that back up. So you can see it's very editable. Type. Let's say I want it to say Happy Halloween and then put Lewis University somewhere. Um, I might center the type. I'm just going to move it individually. Happy Halloween. I'm going to move these guys up a little bit. And let's say I just wanted to put the type Lewis University at the bottom. I would just click on text. I can use any of these like templates as a starting point, or I can just say add my own text. And I'll just say, notice how it says double click here to edit, or I can come up here and just say Lewis University. I don't want that font. I'm going to change the font here to something that's a little bit easier to read. Let's try, this Baby's New. I'm going to change the color to black. And then I'm going to reshape this box so that it's wider. And that way, see how all of it fits on one line. If I make it shorter, it goes to 2 lines. It makes it smaller if I go like this. So it really adjusts. I'm going to move it down to the bottom. Notice how when I start going toward the middle, it turns into this magenta graphic. That lets me know it's centered with the other stuff on the page. I could go up here and actually change the point size here. Or I could even type in my own number. Let's say 160. I could change the color of these graphics. I can change the fonts. I can do all kinds of stuff. But it's totally up to me how I want to make this work. If, let's say I'm done with this, I would want to name it. Let's just call it Halloween Flyer. And I would go download, JPEG, start download. Where do you want to put it? And I'll just call it Halloween Flyer. And then today's date, 10/20/21. So that's it. Now, let's say I wanted to play around with some other things. So let's say I don't want this background, but I wanted another, let's say a photo. I could go up here and say I want to add a photo. I'm going to say find a free photo. And let me just type in Halloween and see what comes up. There's a nice jack-o'-lantern, spooky trees. Another spooky tree, pumpkins. I think I'm going to do this one right here. It's kind of creepy. Notice it came in kind of small. I'm going to make it, just move it up here. I'm going to make it bigger. Kind of like that. Now, it's on top of all my other information. So that's where I can click on this layout order, or I could click down here as well. When I click on that, you'll see the topmost thing is the photo. Then I have my type, and then I have my 2 ghosts, and then I have my text at the top. So I can just drag this all the way down to the bottom and put it on top of that orange background. So now it's there. Notice my type is here. You just can't see it because it's black type. I could just click on the type, change the color to white. I could also, that orange is still back behind it. See that? I could change the opacity of this photo right here and make more of that orange shine through if I wanted to. So now it's going to be a different orange instead of black. Or I can just get rid of it and just not even let that orange show through. Same thing with these graphics. I can change opacity and make them kind of a little bit more see-through. I could align my type left maybe if I wanted to. There's all kinds of stuff you can do because everything's individual. Go back to centered. So that's how you can play around with Adobe Spark to create these graphics. Again, remember, this is going to be kind of small on the big monitors. There's going to be 3 smaller things. So, I don't know if there's a word count that you would use, but probably you'd want the title, a date of your event, contact information. If you could do a QR code, there's another video I have that shows how you can take a QR code from any event that is in our master calendar. It creates an automatic QR code. I have a video that shows you how you could take that QR code and maybe you could add it to this flyer so people could take a snapshot of it with their phone as it shows on the monitors, and it could take them to the information where they could get other details about the event. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. I wanted to show one more thing. Icons are a way that you can add shapes. So let's say I put in a rectangle. I would just take this solid rectangle. I could change the color of it to maybe orange. I could put it back here on top of the photo or the logo type. And again, see how I can move this down so now the type is on top of it. Maybe change the color of the type to black. Maybe make it just a tad bit smaller. Maybe 140 instead of 160. But you can use these icons to do shapes and stuff in the background. There's not a way just to draw a box. You kind of have to do it this way. There are also design assets that give you some really cool, fun stuff like snowflakes and stuff like that that are available for you. If you have your own photo, you can just upload it. So maybe it's a speaker for one of your events. You can upload the photo there. You can find all these free ones here. Backgrounds gives you other backgrounds that you can search for. So let's type in Halloween to see what comes up. These would be other graphics that we could throw in the background. And then logos, again, if you can call the help desk and get access to the more advanced version of Adobe Spark, again, all you need to do is tell them that you need access to it. Then you can upload your own graphics in here. So maybe you have your college graphics in here, or you have student organizations logo in here, or something that you're going to use a lot, and that just can help save time. You don't have to do that, but that's just what logos is for. And then again, when you're done, you just say download, JPEG, save. We would call it Halloween Flyer version 2. And that's that. Then when I go back to see all of my graphics, you'll see here it is right here. And if I wanted to make edits to it next time, I could. So Adobe Spark is a really great way to make graphics for digital media, for social media. Digital signage, social media. If you have any questions, just contact me. I'm Jim Cowan. I'm in the Office of Marketing Communications, and my email is cowanji@lewisu.edu. That's COWANJI@lewisu.edu. Thank you.